This video is brought to you by Ragde Charger.
Today we have a very exciting test because in this video we're gonna do a range test between the Polestar 3 long range dual motor, the Audi Q6 E-Tron Quattro, and the Porsche Macan 4. All of these cars are new this fall, and I think this is gonna be a very interesting and exciting test because these two cars are built on the same platform. So I'm guessing that these are gonna get very similar range. Maybe the Porsche is gonna get a little bit more. But the wild card is the Polestar 3, which is priced similar to these. Actually spec this way, this is the cheapest car here, which is very interesting. But it has a trick up its sleeve. It has a much bigger battery. So today, the battle of the new electric SUVs, and comment down below guys which one you think is gonna win.
As per usual, we are doing this range test on my normal test route, a route I have tested close to 100 EVs on since 2020. The test loop is 194 kilometers and we will be doing ABA testing, which will mitigate differences in elevation and wind speed. We will be driving in convoy with the climate set to 21 degrees Celsius, the cars in their most efficient mode, and using cruise control set to 120 kph or 75 miles an hour. I will drive in front with the others following behind and will rotate the cars throughout the test so I can give you my driving impressions of the different vehicles and also eliminate any differences in driving style.
What a beautiful day to be out in the Norwegian countryside filming a range test. Clear blue skies, dry roads, but it is getting pretty cold outside. -2 degrees Celsius now, but I think it's gonna get even colder once we get a little bit further north. So I wanted to hop into this car first because I've had the Polestar 3 on loan for about a week and a half now. I've also driven the Macan extensively lately, and this is the car that is most distant in memory. And my memory of this car is that compared to the price point, compared to other competitors, there's a lot of tire noise and also wind noise. It's not as quiet or as comfortable as I was hoping a car being this expensive should be. And even though we are on studless winter tires, these are very quiet Continental Viking Contact studless winter tires, there's still quite a bit of tire noise. Wind noise is kept to a minimum, but there's just a little bit of roar from those tires. And yeah, compared to the other two, I think this is by far the most noisy. Seats also, these are the sport seats, quite comfortable, but a little bit harsh. And just overall, the interior experience there isn't as premium or as upmarket as those other cars. My next video is going to be a full review of all of these three cars, comparing them side to side. So if you don't want to miss out on that video, hit that subscribe button down below and sound that notification bell. But this does feel like the cheapest car here. It's the most noisy, it has the least luxurious interior, and also it just isn't as refined as the other cars, though the tech may be the best of the trio. It just doesn't feel as polished or as premium as the other cars. But let's check in with the other guys and hear what their consumption is. Hello, hello.
Hello, man. How are you?
I'm good, I'm good. How's it going in the Macan 4? So after about 40 minutes on the road and 70 kilometers, what is your average consumption now?
It's around 27 and a half, 28 when I put the gas pedal on the ground.
27 and a half. So mine is at 26.0. That is considerably higher, but you are on bigger wheels and tires, so that may explain that. But I was not expecting there to be a big difference between these two cars. But okay, interesting.
It is, but didn't your car have like an efficiency mode and mine doesn't?
Yeah, that's true. This car has efficiency mode. There's no range mode in the Porsche, which is curious. We look through the menus. There's no way to turn that on. So that is interesting. Maybe that explains that. Yeah.
Hello.
Hello, Sindra. How's it going in the Polestar?
Oh, it's going really good.
Is it quiet and comfortable?
Yeah, it's really quiet actually to be driving on the motorway.
Do you want to give us your average consumption so far?
My average consumption is 31.2 9.
Okay, that is a lot higher than us other cars. Wow, that is interesting. The Macan is on the biggest wheels and tires, 21-inch wheels, but the same tires as with the Polestar 3. And it is relatively quiet. I think it's a tad bit quieter when it comes to the tire noise than that Q6 E-Tron, but this was also my suspicion, which I said once I get, the Macan on Norwegian roads on my normal test route, is that it's going to be quite noisy. And it is. It's not very quiet, but again, we're on winter tires, studdless winter tires. This is going to be a lot quieter than on summer wheels, so just keep that in mind. But it is quieter than that Audi. But there's still, a little bit of tire roar, very dependent on the surfacing. But this interior experience is a completely different experience to that Audi. This is Porsche through and throughout. Yes, this is by far the most expensive car here, where that Polestar is 1,015,000 kroners, spec the way it is. The Q6 E-Tron is 1,049,000 kroners, to spec the way it is. This is 1,354,000 spec this way. Yes, you can get a Macan with a lot less equipment, but it's not going to give you the luxuriousness you're experiencing here. How much less? Well, I'll have to look at, the spec sheet specifically, but I'm going to talk about that more in detail in my next video, which is the review, the comparison between all of these three cars. But this car, upgraded comfort seats, 14-way adjustable, cooled, heated seats, leather on the dashboard, leather on the top of the doors, sport chrono, leather on the airbag cover. Yeah, this is a true luxurious experience. And also the steering in this is just a little bit sharper. This is just a little bit more stable, a little bit more refined over the bumps, where the Audi was a little bit bumpy. This just glides. Yeah. Driving wise, there is a big separation between this and the Q6 E-Tron. They're just not in the same class, though they're built on the same platform. Where they are the closest is that tire noise. I'm having to raise my voice. And it was interesting because Sindre is now in the Q6 E-Tron, and we're doing, a little bit of B-roll filming. We're driving, past each other, and I'm talking to the guys, and I could hear the road noise in my speakers through his hands-free. Yeah, insane. Now let's call up the other guys and let's get an update on the consumption. Let's call the Polestar 3 first. Hello, DJ Spelleman. What's up, dude? Here, I think the Porsche and the Polestar are very close, and the Audi is like the distant cousin, right? In my opinion, so far. But what is your...
I don't want to drive the Audi again.
No, you don't. So what's the consumption now after about 130 kilometers?
It's 30.2.
30.2. So it's gone down in the Polestar, but it's risen in the Porsche. Here it's 28.
Oh yeah, so you are the same as I had.
Yeah, that is interesting. Okay, I'm gonna call up Sindre in the Audi and get an update there. Talk to you later, Hong Kong.
Enjoy. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello, Sindre. How's it going in the Audi?
It's going good. It's a little bit more noisy this time, but yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, because you hopped in from the Polestar and into the Audi, and it's a lot more noisy, right?
Indeed it is.
I can hear your road noise through my speakers. It's insane. So what is your average consumption now after about 130 kilometers?
It's 26.3.
Okay, so that's interesting. 26.3. In this, it's 28, and in the Polestar, it's 30.
Okay.
So the Polestar has actually gone down, and this has gone up, and the Audi is pretty much the same. Interesting. Okay, thanks for the update, buddy. Talk to you later.
Yep, talk to you soon.
Okay, bye-bye. Lastly, we are in the Polestar 3, and this is a very different beast to those other cars. So of course it is. Those two cars are closely related, built on the same platform. Both are brands under Volkswagen Group. This isn't. But I have to say, this just feels like a more upmarket platform. Like, it feels like the basics here, the underpinning platform is just more expensive and of higher quality. Where the Porsche feels like an Audi that has been dressed up in a really nice manner and they've done a really good job, this feels like just a more expensive starting point. There is maybe more wind noise here than I was expecting, but it may be because there's so little tire noise compared to the other two that it just sounds like there's more wind noise. You know, that tire noise will drown out that wind noise often. So that may just be the case. Seats also, these seats are superb, maybe not as soft as in the Porsche. So I think it's like a toss-up between this and the Porsche, the best seats. But this interior, if it wasn't for that Porsche having leather everywhere, this would be an easy win because I prefer the design here. I prefer the ambiance. You feel like you're sitting higher here in an SUV instead of like inside a tall station wagon like with those other two cars. But you still have this beautiful dashboard, cocooning. You have this beautiful, beautiful greenhouse and this view. There's something about the design of this interior, this color combo, that really just tickles my fancy. And lastly, ride comfort. This also feels like more compliant, more refined than the other two. Where the Porsche just, you know, wafts along, this just, you know, glides. You don't feel those bumps. You don't have that body motion as you have in the Porsche, which is very, very interesting. So yeah, if you want to know more about how these cars compare when it comes to the exterior, the interior, the trunk, the front, the tech, the driving experience, that is my next video, which is going to be a triple comparison. So if you don't want to miss out on that video, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up. Yeah. So we're soon at the chargers where we started. We're going to connect and see what charging speed we're going to get after a few hours on the road with only passive heating. So no active preconditioning. All of these cars have that, but we do that in a different test called the long trip test. Today is all about getting that maximum efficiency. We're going to update you guys when it comes to the consumption once we get there. Connect, see what charging speed we get. And yeah, see what car has the most range under these conditions. Okay guys, we are now back here where we started this range test earlier today at the Ragde Chargers here at Inlandsporten. And of course, Ragde is today's video sponsor, so huge thanks to them. They have like 33 charging locations close to shopping all around Norway, all around Eastern Norway. And their motto is God energi hele veien. And they have a goal of powering, if not all, but at least a lot of these charging stations with solar power in the future to have that super clean energy. But here you can see there's like a Burger King, there's a Circle K, there's a Coop Extra. They have a lot of, you know, shopping here if you want to charge and shop. So that's pretty cool. So if you have a company, you can also get a discount. You can get a deal with Ragde. So go to the link down below, fill out the form and see if Ragde can give you a good deal. Today, we're using my Ragde charging card, but you can also use any of the apps like Easy Park or any of the charging apps like the E-Tron charging app, or you can pay with debit card, which is really, really nice. But today, because they're sponsoring, we're gonna choose this here, and then we're gonna choose the RFID chip. So first, we're gonna start connecting the Porsche here. Electrically operated charge port, as you guys can see. Fancy, but may not be the best for winter. And this car is at 33% stated charge. We started with different stated charges with the different cars. So while this is initializing, let's go over to the Audi. So the Audi is at 43%, but again, we started with a different stated charge. So, you know, that isn't the whole story yet. This also has a power operated charge port, and you can see now that it's cold, struggling maybe just a little bit. So this charger here can deliver 400 kilowatts. The one over there is 240, but we're not going to get close to the peak charging speeds of this car, which is 270 kilowatts, or that Porsche, which is 270 kilowatts, because we haven't been preconditioning the battery. So lastly, let's do the Polestar, and this has a manually operated charge port, which I prefer because in winter, when it gets cold and icy, those electric ones, they usually don't work very well. So let's see if we can start the charger over here. There we go. And then connect here. So this car has a peak charging speed of 250 kilowatts, but that is only at a Tesla supercharger, because this is the only car here which is 400 volts. And to get that 250 kilowatts of peak charging speed, you have to connect to a Tesla supercharger, which can output up to 650 amps. This, being a CCS standard charger, can maximum output 500 amps and that is 200 kilowatts. So if you come over here, we can see the charging speeds of the different cars. So let's check out the Porsche first. Let's press this one. And we're only getting, oh my God, we're only getting 30 kilowatts. That's insane. Let's hop in here. Okay. So look at this, guys. We're only getting 30 kilowatts. The battery is at 17 degrees Celsius. Okay, is that because the Polestar is getting more? Because this should be able to output 240 kilowatts. So let's go back here and let's check out the Polestar. And that is getting 74 kilowatts. That's insane. So, I mean, we're not even close. Like, that's a little more than 100 kilowatts. This charger can easily output 240, so we're not restricted by the charger. We're restricted by the battery temperature. Let's hop over to the Audi. And the Audi is getting 100 kilowatts. Okay, that is interesting. So maybe we'll disconnect the Porsche, connect to that other charger, and see if we'll get more charging speed. Okay, so we moved the Porsche now, and then we're gonna try this charger instead. So we have one car on each charger. We should have done that from the beginning. So choose the CCS charger here, RFID chip. It is so quick and easy to use these Ragde Chargers. I mean, they're some of the easiest chargers I've used ever. So I really do like them. So let's see if we're gonna get more charging speed here. It is really cold outside, guys. If you guys comment like, oh, it's not cold, -5, because where I live, it's like -50 degrees half of the year. It's snow and there's blizzards and you can barely walk outside. Well, good for you. But for me, and for a lot of people, this is cold. And I think you're in the minority, like compared to the rest of the world. If you live in a place where it's like constantly like -30 and this is like summer for you. Okay, guys, we're now connected. So let's see what charging speed we're getting here. Okay, so we're getting 110 kilowatts, 125 kilowatts. Okay, that is a lot better. So there was some kind of restriction there. 2 cars to that charger. Wasn't getting, you know, any more charging speed, but still 125 kilowatts is decent. But if we preconditioned, we would be getting a lot higher. Okay, so because we, you know, disconnected the Porsche here, we're just gonna double check the Polestar, what kind of charging speed we're getting now when that is not connected. Okay, 80 kilowatts, so that wasn't restricted. And that makes a lot of sense, that battery pack, because this has a much lower charging speed because it is on a 400 volt architecture. Now let's take a look at the results. And normally I do this inside the car, and that is what I wanted to do because it's so darn cold outside. But because we have 3 cars, we'll do it on the outside. So what we do in this test, we take the usable battery capacities of the cars, we divide it by the consumption of each car, and then we subtract 3% for heat and discharging losses. That gives us the theoretical range under today's conditions. And in third place, with a theoretical range of 338 kilometers, is the Porsche Macan 4. That car has 2 penalties today. No range mode. We looked throughout the infotainment system, so if you know if there's a hidden range mode, let us know down below. But in my Taycan Cross Turismo, my daily driver, you do the Sport Chrono wheel all the way to the left, there's a range mode. There's nothing there. We went into the infotainment system. But this car, 338 kilometers, and also has bigger wheels, 21-inch wheels compared to the other cars. These 2 cars though, very close in total range, but different consumptions. This had a total consumption, or average consumption, of 25.7 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, and this had 28.8, considerably higher. But this is also a much larger vehicle. The Audi Q6 E-Tron had a total range of 358 kilometers under today's conditions, and the Polestar 3 long-range dual motor, 362 kilometers difference. Yeah, that is not a lot. But this car with a WLTP rated range of 558 kilometers is much closer to that number than this with a WLTP rated range of 634 kilometers. I think that is very, very interesting. So guys, those are the results of our triple range test today. I think it's very interesting. I thought this was actually going to win by a huge margin. But also in the beginning of the video, it looked like this was going to win because this had so much lower consumption than this car. So guys, let me know what you think about the results in the comment section down below. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please drop me a thumbs up down below. And for more car content, as always, please subscribe. See you guys later and goodbye.